Welcome back to the fundamental principles, and we are still doing the series on changing your life, change your future. And when I did the Stephen Covey leadership program, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, there's one section of that deals with the maturity continuum. And I think that's only fitting that I share this part with you. It says the maturity continuum shows the relationship among the 7 habits, public victory and private victory, and stages of interdependent progress. The part that I like about this maturity continuum is a section that says 7 habits that you can use to sharpen your saw. And all of us have different saws, that we use. And this, what I learned there, I tell you, if I didn't get anything other than that, that alone was worth the price that I pay for that leadership training. And here are some of the 7 habits to sharpen your saw. And the first one is interdependence. Under that, you have habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. So, whatever situation you're entering into, make sure you have clarity about what it is, so that when you enter in, you can then add value and energy to that situation. So, people who are looking to have a well-rounded life or saw and that real sharpen, you don't go into a situation looking for the answer. You understand why you're getting in there. And when you get there, you're going to find out, because you enter with clarity, you're easily understood and there is no misconception of why you're there. Habit 6 is synergies. Help to build synergy. You remember back in the days and traditionally how we are accustomed to be doing things. 1 and 1 is 2. That's how we were taught and that's how we were brought up. But in a synergistic world, 1 and 1 becomes 11. Because it's my resources and your resources and the resources of mine people and the resources of your people help to build. And especially like now is a time when we are all looking to utilize global resources. We need to find out that synergistic relationships are extremely, extremely, extremely important. Because somewhere along the way, you are going to be touching the lives of somebody that you really don't probably have never met. But because of something that you have said to someone or have done to someone, it snowballed and turned around and affect somebody else's life who you have never met. I said this, and then immediately something came to my mind. There is a lady I network with on LinkedIn, and she sent me an email saying thanks. And she said, if there is one lesson that she can take away from the things that I've said or done for her, is to embrace and understand the depth of faith and what it means. And when she said that, that was powerful for me to hear. Because a lot of us do not understand the impact our faith has on the life that we live. You got to know like you know your name when you are getting involved in any project or any relationships or anything. You got to have the faith to know that it was meant to be, it was destined to be. And regardless of what anybody else says, I know that this is right for me. And you'll find out that as you work with the different people in a synergistic relationship, you will find out that you get better and better and better at those things. The next one is public victory. Habit number 4, think win-win. Think win-win. When I enter into any situation, I'm looking, what I'm bringing is going to add value to A, B, and C. And in turn, as I add value and energy to A, B, C, D, then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I begins to add value to me. So it now becomes a win-win for all. Don't go out there and look and say, oh, well, what's in it for me? I know that a lot of people operate their lives like that, and they are not open and receptive to helping other people experience win-win situation. But I find out that it is a more valuable thing when you focus on win-win situation versus what's in it for me. Oh no, I'm not doing anything unless you can show me what's in it for me. When you do that, then you are hindering yourself from being the part of great experiences that will enhance and impact your lives. The next one is interdependence. And habit 3 comes under that. Put first things first. Prioritize. First things first. What's first for me is probably not what's not first for you. However, you know what's first for you. Do you need to get your family issues in order? Do you need to get your health in order to accomplish X? Do you need to do this to accomplish that? What's first? Now you are the person who knows what's first in your life. So you put things in priority order so that you'll be able to move along. Private victory. Be productive. Regardless of what you do, be productive. Use your time wisely. We can get money back. We can get stuff back. The only thing in life that we will never get back is time. When the day ends, it's gone. It's finished with. You can't be whining about what you coulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda done, because it does not work like that. You got to get first things first in order, then be productive about what you're doing. Spend your time wisely. Do not spend $100 time doing penny task. A lot of times we think that, oh, somebody is charging too much to do something. So instead of going out to work the money to pay somebody to do the thing that is really qualified to do it, they can do it in less time than we can do it in, because it's not our skill and our talents. We don't know how to do that, but because we don't want to pay, we said, well, I'm going to do it myself. Even if it kills me, I hear people say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the time to do it. That is not being productive. The productive thing to do is to go out there, earn the money, pay the person to do what they got to do, and you spend the time doing what you enjoy doing and what helps you to develop in the areas that you are working on. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. I just love that principle, because from the day I got back out of that training, whatever I am doing, I'm not looking at the result right now. I'm not looking at what is happening right now. It's like I have a tunnel vision and I'm looking way ahead. I'm seeing the end. You know, so I remember, I'm sure you're going to think this is funny, but I remember when I just became an inspirational speaker, and I would have an engagement to do, and I'm a single person, I have one son, and most times I was always at home by myself. And what I normally do, I would put all the dining room chairs in a certain, like a semicircle. And those were some people. There are lots of people sitting in eight chairs. There were 8 people sitting there. And then I would go in my cutlery drawer. I took out spoons, knives, and fork and everything, and I would line them up. And then I would stand at the head of that table and I begin to give my presentation. So I was looking way ahead of time. I didn't even know that the time was going to come when I would have this amazing opportunity to be speaking to you in your homes, all over Connecticut, out in St. Louis, Missouri. You know, when I do the internet radio show, I'm speaking to people all over the world. I began with seeing the end in mind. Although I was speaking to forks and spoons and knives and chairs and all of that stuff, I was looking at a diverse gathering of people that I was speaking to. It was not my cutlery, it was not my furniture. They were people, because in my mind's eye, I was looking at different ethnicity, different cultures, different people in different countries sitting right there in my dining room, and I was speaking with them. And that's what you need to do, whatever your goal is that you are working on. After you watch this segment, I want you to begin to see the end in mind. Do not pay any attention to what it looks like now. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Just the mere tip. You know you cannot see far enough. Just keep looking. Look across the Caribbean Sea, and you look and you can see way across. And that's how you need to look at your goals and your visions. Private victory. We experience the private victory when we learn self-mastery and self-discipline. A friend of mine, Ed Foxworth III, he developed a principle called the 6 routines to self-discovery. And I think each and every one of us need to practice those routines, so that we can have understanding on who we really are. The treasure, the treasure that God has created us to be. The kings and queens, prince and princesses that we really are. So we need to spend time doing that. So that was the definition for a private victory. A public victory is described as we reap the public victory when we build deep, lasting, high, effective relationships with other people. Remember when I mentioned about the synergistic relationships? 1 and 1 is no longer 2, but then it becomes 11. And you multiply and you multiply and you multiply and you multiply. And so long as you continue to build on synergistic relationships, there is no stopping you. There is no limit to where you can go. Let us look on a scenario here of 3 individuals. And this is just an example that I'm sharing with you. We have person 1. To one side we have person 2, and then we have person 3. So, person 1, the first person is someone who shares knowledge with a second person. So, for example, when I just share with you the maturity continuum, years ago I paid and I went to this Stephen Covey Leadership Institute. I invested in me. Now, I think that was maybe 8, 9 years ago I did that. Today in 2010, I'm here sharing with you some of the things that I gathered from that Leadership Institute. So now you are person 2. And you, person 2, you got that information that I share with you. You got it. You did not just sit around with it. You took the knowledge that I pass on to you. You then in turn share it with person 3. So here I am telling you about this. You're listening to it in the privacy of your home. You jot some notes down. You went to work. You are in the cafeteria. And you said, you know, I was looking on Charter or Comcast or Soundview or whichever channel you are getting this on. And there was a teaching on fundamental principles. And here is what I got out of it. I don't know if anything here would interest you. But here are some nuggets that I learned from that. So you now, person 1, which is me, I went to that training. I come now and you are in your home. Here I am sharing it with you through this program. You got it and you went on to share it with someone on your job. And person 3 now is the third person receives added value and knowledge. So you did not have to pay for it. It's out of my willingness to share the knowledge that I gained there. I said, you know, here I am working on this segment of the show. I think this would fit into what we're teaching. So I share with you, person 2. You then share with person 3. So everyone is benefiting from this. So I think that each and every one of us needs to practice this 3-person teaching and dissemination of knowledge in our everyday life. Each and every one of us, we are walking encyclopedias, and we have a lot that we can share with other people. But I think that people are very selfish and do not want to share and to pass on. So use this little example to begin to pattern your life. As you look at that, some of the things that begins to happen is that you begin to capture understanding the understanding of the basic content of the idea. So I share with you, you share with somebody else. So now, a content that was given to me 8 or 9 years ago, and I'm here sharing it with you, you're able to capture it and pass it on to the next person. So now what happened? There's an expansion that begins to take place. There is people who will begin to analyze and add experience or knowledge to their lives that they did not need to go firsthand to acquire that. So now because I share, this knowledge begin to expand and people are developing their life. So the people now, person 1 got the knowledge, share with person 2 captures that. Then they transfer it to person 3. Person 3 expand that. And now all 3 of us begin to apply this knowledge. Now we begin to live it, share it, different examples of ways that we can use that. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question. What are the benefits for me when I do that? For me, I know when I began doing that, I began to build excellent relationships. I began to grow. I began to grow immensely in the things I do. I began to build my network and resources. So I want for you to jot down what are the benefits for you. Identify at least 3 people that you will reach out to pass this information on to them, and make it a habit that you're going to begin to pass on to others. So develop a list of 3 people that you can begin to work with. Now, as we go around in life, we find out that principles are designed around 3 things. You get something, you see it, you look at it, you physically look at it. Now the next thought is, what am I going to do with this? So what do we get? We get resources, money, different resources that we get. It could be a computer to come in and learn computer lesson, whatever the resources that we get that. And you get it. So what are you doing? You utilize it for yourself, but are you passing on to someone else to let them know that this resource is available also for them? We have to remember the importance of sharing. Remember, I showed you that example in the 3-person sharing theory. So when you learn about resources that's available in your community, in your state, whatever? Do you pass the word around to others to let them know that this thing is available? Now, you get it, you begin to share it. Now, everyone is seeing that this is available, and they're thinking, now that this is available, what can we do about this? So you find out that you has to create a paradigm shift around the way you do things. In the past, you were accustomed to get something and you file it away. Now you begin to say, all right, I got it, now I see the way that it can impact my community or my organization. So I'm going to make copies and I'm going to distribute it. Or I'm going to send it out an email. After you do that, that's going to help to put things in the hands of other people, and you find out that this circle keeps going around because there's a greater progress that is taking place within the organization, within your business, within your family, and even within your life. So, principles upon which we operate our lives are important. We need to sit down and make a decision on what are the principles that I am operating my life by. Paradigms are aligned with our principles. You got to change the way you do things. You cannot keep doing things the same old way. So you have to learn to adopt a paradigm shift that will enhance your life, develop your business, and help to empower your staff, your co-workers, your family, your siblings, and the people that you are in relationships with. Progress are thoughts and behaviors that affect results that we achieve. So I just hope that something I've said here has helped you to begin to structure some fundamental principles in your life that will help you to develop the lifestyle, the career, and the richness that you deserve. I thank you for spending time with me, and for listening and for being part of fundamental principles. Let me hear from you and let me hear the stories that we have helped you to change your life and to change your future. I'll see you next time here on their New Day Show.
you.